Hey there, I'm Miss Osuna, and today we are going to learn about pull lines. Those are the lines in your clothing as you wear them. So let's go on ahead and start off by knowing that we have to do the work. It's going to take work, but I promise you it'll be worth it. So we're going to start off by drawing our croquis that starts with an oval and a straight line. And then we're going to measure. Each oval is about the space of one head, and that's approximately 1 inch. We want to measure so that we have 9 inches total. You can measure with a ruler or just as I am with my finger and thumb. So that's your oval at the top, center of your page, and then a straight line down, and then measure each space. Next, we're going to go on ahead and put in our neck at 1.5. So literally, you start at the center line and you drag your arm up higher on the left, lower on the right. The opposite is for the waist. Now we're putting in our parenthesis shape facing left for the neck. And I'm starting with the shoulder on the left, shoulder to waist. And then from there, I'm going to measure to 1.5. And I literally will start at the shoulder, and that tells me the second shoulder position. It's also facing the right for the parenthesis. And then we're just doing our rounded shoulders with our smile. Now you need a guideline for the bust. That's at 2.25. Put your smile further to the right on the right side so you can see a little bit of the profile of the bust. And then you want to bring that up and connect that to your shoulder. And now we're doing the bottom emphasis on the right side. So notice the right curve on the waist down is harder, much more curved. And put your crotch in at 4.25. Put in your bikini bottom. Start with a dash and then 2 frown lines and a smile. Now the next thing, we need to find the center of our leg on the right and drag that down so by the time you get to 9, it's at the center. Find the center of your leg on the left, and you're going to drag that down so that it's about 1.5 inches to the left of your center. All right, put in your knee socket. That's at number 6. Drag down those long parenthesis shapes, and then pop in your ankle socket. Drag those parenthesis shapes down, and then, of course, your toe. Diagonal line is longer on the left side, shorter on the right, because the big toe is on the left there. And here we are, leg number 2. So pop in your knee socket for leg number 2. It's the same direction as your crotch socket. You can draw that in and put the circle so that your knee socket's a little lower on the left. Drag down those long parentheses for your thigh. And then starting here with our soft parenthesis and then our ankle socket, drag down knee to ankle. Now we are going to do our toe. Longer on the right side, shorter on the left, and then you will have your lower portion of your croquis complete. Now we need guidelines for our arm. We can go back and measure later, but the guideline is important. Start off with a smile for the hand. Make sure it's further to the left on the hip. So that smile is further to the left so that it looks like it's sitting on the hip, and then 2 diagonal lines for the top of your fingertips. So that shoulder to elbow is also shoulder to waist. And then your elbow to wrist is also waist to crotch. So now you can redraw that guideline because you have your measurements. So guidelines are first. Drag out those long parenthesis shapes for your arms, landing on your elbow and your wrist, and then you can connect your hand. Now you can reposition this if you want a stronger angle, and so you can literally just redraw in your guidelines. So I will do that as well so that you can see both versions. Going ahead and start off with your guidelines. So this time the elbow is less angled, and then your measurements. So that's shoulder to waist for your elbow, and then that's waist to crotch, and that'll give you your wrist. So either position works. It's just a matter of what you like better. Let's go on ahead and do arm on the right side. So again, guidelines just to start. And you have a smile to start when you want the hand on the hip. So this smile goes upward, slightly to the right of the body. And then you have your diagonal lines and your M shapes for the knuckles. And then the diagonal lines at the edges for your fingertips. And measure. So that's shoulder to waist. That tells you shoulder to elbow. And flesh that out, giving yourself those long parenthesis shapes. And then that's going to be our elbow to our wrist. And if you measure that, is waist to crotch. All right, I'm just going to erase some of these guidelines so that you can really see what we have here. All right, now we have our tracing paper, and we're just going to put that on top. I'm going to just trace the actual arm and some of the body, but we are going to be drawing a skirt on top of our croquis here. So we're focusing waist down. So I'm tracing the arm and the hand and some of that upper body, and then we will put in our skirt. So on the left side, make sure you have a little bit of distance, maybe about 1.5 inches from the ankle. And do the same on the right side. So it's fitted at the waist, and then once you get down to the knee, make sure you have a Z shape because that is showing where the fabric is going to bend behind the knee. And then make sure that at the hemline, you come out to the right side this time. So here's that Z shape, and then now we're coming out to the right side. And coming out to the bottom, I'm dragging this hem. So this hem is purposefully designed longer in the back. Okay, so once again, the knee has a little bit of a Z shape, and then the width of this skirt is more A-line shaped. So it's wider at the ankle, fitted though at the waist and our thigh area. And I'm using a pencil pal from a wonderful elementary school student who makes these as a business. So shouts out to that student. I will find out more information. Okay, now for the pull lines. We have a diagonal and a Z shape at the crotch. And then following down on the right side of the body, a diagonal line following the leg. Same on the left side. And same where we have these frown shapes from our hem. So anywhere where you see the downward curve, go on ahead and put a diagonal on the left and the right side of that frown shape. That's representing the fullness of this skirt. Now I'm just going to draw in a waist so that we can see it's asymmetrical and it's an empire waist. Of course, you can design anything you'd like. And literally that is the pull line for an A-line skirt. You just need that diagonal and Z shape at the crotch area. And at the hem, you need diagonal lines that follow the shapes of the leg. So you can see I have one on the right side at the thigh and on the left side between our knee and ankle. And then where you're the very, very bottom of your hem, anywhere where there's a frown shape or a downward curve, you want 2 diagonal lines, one on the left, one on the right. They don't touch at the top, but it just represents a little bit of fullness. If you were painting, you would literally paint these Z shapes with darker pigment and less water. So maybe do it 2 or 3 times so that it's really dry and very strong, and then you can paint on top of it. If you were doing it with marker, it would be the same thing. So that's it for this session, and I definitely look forward to seeing and hearing all about the good work that you are doing, you future fashion designer you. Remember, It is going to take work to do whatever it is that you want to do. It takes work to get it and to keep it. But do the work and it will be worth it. You'll get the results. Happy sketching!